So welcome to another episode of Blewitt, and of course we've got a very special guest. We've got the governor himself, Mr. Danny Chapman, joining us today as well. So, Danny, how are you?
Yeah, I'm well, mate. Thank you, yourself.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Although I've just been told that my shop's shutting, so might be looking for a new job very shortly. But there we go. But it's
That's all
right, no problem. And Dan, Dal, how are you feeling?
I'm good, mate. We've got a boss, and as I said earlier, I'm the underboss, so Dan's got the lead today.
He's not normally as quiet as
always.
No, so, I mean, I've seen the ones he's done, yeah.
So I suppose to go back at it, I mean, look, how disappointed was you that the game Tuesday wasn't on? And I know it's been put on to this Tuesday, but I mean, was it a disappointment? Was that one of those sort of games coming up like last Tuesday in the sort of League Cup that you were looking to maybe play some of the, shall we say, sort of fringe players in that game against Ware?
If I'm being honest, Dave, it's actually done us a favour. We are a little bit light on the ground at the moment. We've got a few injuries. A couple of lads are not available on Saturday. On this Saturday, so not having the game, on Tuesday actually did us a favour in regards to, not having the chance of picking up any more injuries. So it's disappointing in one way because we're on a good run at the minute and we're performing well, but on the other hand, it probably did us a favour, the fact that we didn't have a game and risk picking up any more injuries. Yeah.
I suppose one of the things you should have asked, and I suppose is that people saw Alex go off last weekend. I mean, have you got any news on him? Or I know you've got training tonight, but any sort of news on updates on Alex?
Yeah, so the boys that are sort of struggling at the minute, we had them seen on Tuesday. Alex has torn some fibres in his hamstring, so it's not as serious as a pulled hamstring. So hopefully he should be available again from next week. We're hoping with a little bit of rehab, he should be okay. Lane will be okay. We had a concern over Lane and his groin. But he's going to be okay, and the biggest one, and not good for us, not good for him, is Hector. Hector's got a possible ACL tear. We're just waiting for his scan to be organised at the moment to see how serious that is. It might not be that. That's what we're all hoping for, but Hector's going to be sort of a minimum 4 to 6 weeks, unfortunately. So that's without, that's if that's without it being an ACL. If it's an ACL, obviously, it will be a hell of a lot longer than that.
So I mean, with Hector, I mean, and I mean this in a good way. I mean, how for both of you? I mean, how sort of frustrating is it with Hector? Because we see him for a bit, and then he seems to pick up these sort of niggling injuries, or quite long, lengthy injuries possibly as well. But when he's on the pitch, he makes that massive difference, doesn't he? When he's on the pitch.
He does make a huge difference to us. And, for me, he worked so hard to get his hamstring right and to make sure that he wasn't going to, play a few games and break down. And he just started, coming back, starting, and he had made a difference to us. So for him to have that now, it's a big blow, obviously, for us. But it's an even bigger blow for him personally. And I really feel for him. But hopefully, as I say, let's hope the scan doesn't show that it's an ACL and it's something a lot more manageable to get him back as quick as we can. Yeah.
Yourself, Dal?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to just look at since he's come back in. He doesn't make a difference to our team. He does. He's something different to what we've got in that midfield, and I think that with him in the team, we're a better team. But look, we've got a squad for. So moving forward, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's a shame, but hopefully it ain't as bad as we first think. So we'll see.
But I mean, with the games, we've had sort of recently. I mean, you must be quite pleased with some of the results that we've had. In a new league and sort of going forward, it's looking really good at the moment. And I mean, I'm just looking at the form guide, sitting fourth in the form guide. Only got Burke, Hampstead, St Neots, and Dunstable above us in the form table. You must be quite happy with the way things have started.
Yeah, very happy. Obviously, if you go back to the very beginning, we had a good result on the first day of the season. Could have ended up a draw, if I'm being honest, against Hertford, and then we followed that up with two losses, league losses anyway, which was obviously disappointing. And I think the difference has been, and this is maybe an oversight on my part, but it's taken a little while for the players to settle down, which it can do, and even the players that we brought back, that was with us from previous seasons. Maybe I expected them to fall back into what we do and how we do it a little bit quicker than what it actually happened, because they've obviously been off, they've played for other clubs, played different ways, etc. And I think over the past sort of 3-4 weeks, it's sort of, if you want to use the right word, want for another word, clicked. That everyone understands now what's required, what their role is with the group, and the performances have warranted the results that we've got. So from our point of view, we're really pleased with where we're at. There's always room for improvement. We all know that, but at the moment, we're going okay.
I mean, I mean, for you, Darren, I mean, with the squad itself, I mean, has there been sort of one player that, that sort of surprised you this season, that sort of come out of the shell and not necessarily been better than what you thought they were, but the performance has been a lot better?
I think what Danny touched on at the start, I think we had that win and then we went through a couple of games we didn't win. And I think we had a couple of moments which weren't on the pitch, maybe in the change room and maybe between us at the training ground, that got that togetherness and like, right, this is how we're going to do it properly now. We took training. Well, training's always been serious, but they bought into it a bit more. And then as a team, we've been better. And I think you've seen good performances from individual players, but it's the same old thing. If the team doesn't perform as we want to play and how we play, how effective we are when we play how we play, then everyone looks a better player. There's been individual performances in certain games, but I think overall, as a collective, it's just been much better over the 4 to 5 weeks, and that's why we've won games. We've done what we're good at. We performed to a good level, and players like Marcis, players like Fabian's gone into centre back and he's changed it a little bit, and Cyrus being an experienced player, and Lane coming out and performing better, and that's just rubbed off on the whole team as a collective. And moving forward, that's what we need to continue to do, David. I think there's a good atmosphere at training when we turn up for games. They want to do it right, and we do things properly, and that's just been a benefit overall as a team.
I mean, but for me, and Danny will go on, I knew he was going to say that name, but with Marcis, sort of coming in, has that made that life a little bit easier for you to actually sort of go into that midfield berth? That's helped you a little bit to then put Fabian back in at centre half?
Yeah. I mean, Marcis has obviously been the big surprise to everyone. If one area that we're not short on is centre midfield. Particularly, we played 2 holding and 1 further forward, and particularly the holding roles, we've got them in abundance. And I don't think anyone expected Marcis to be a regular, but Marcis has got energy levels that I can't remember the last person I saw with energy levels like his. It's incredible, and he's infectious. I think it makes others work harder. I mean, Cyrus has always been like that anyway. Cyrus has always been your midfield player that gets around the whole pitch and breaks things up. But now he's got Marcis next to him as well. Having them two gave, like recently it's been Hector, but whoever gives them that little bit more freedom to go and do what they need to do further up the pitch. But yeah, Marcis has been a big plus, and as Darren said, Fabian going back into centre half made a huge difference to us defensively. I mean, Fabian, that's where I first ever saw Fabian play years ago when he was at Potter's Bar, and yeah, he's been excellent there. I think Josh as performances have been better since playing next to Fabian. So yeah, it's been really good, and obviously the lad we got on loan from Southend, Amari, has been excellent. There's not really been anyone that I could look at so far and say don't think they're quite performing to the levels that they need to perform at. But yeah, Marcis has been a big plus for us.
I mean, the game at the weekend, and I don't know how you looked at it. I mean, standing on the touchline when Alfie came in and got involved early. I mean, what was your thoughts straight away with that? Was you happy to see him getting involved early, and was you expecting to happen what actually happened in the end? Because I mean, although he got the red card at the end there, he was right in front of me, and I can honestly say it didn't look like a second yellow to me from on that challenge. I'll be honest.
No, I mean, Alfie's another one who's done very, very well for us. He started a couple, but mostly he's come off the bench. And Alfie, great energy levels, loves to get involved in the right way. I mean that. And if you looked at Saturday, his first one was it was a yellow card. I got no complaints about that. But the second one, I've looked at it, I don't know how many times on the video, and it's not even a free kick. I'm not quite sure what the ref saw. Whether we had a particular angle where it looked worse than what it was. I don't know. But yeah, it was never a red card. It wasn't even a free kick, let alone a second booking, which is a shame because he's a good lad and he's now going to miss a game through no fault of his own. Unfortunately, it's through a bad decision, but. We all do it. Refs make bad decisions. I will make bad decisions as a manager. Players will make bad decisions as players. It's we can't change it. We just got to get on with it.
I mean, are you guys as managers though, and it's something that we're going to be bringing up on the D&K show on Monday. With the referees. Does that not frustrate you a little bit though when it comes to the fact that it's 2 yellow cards and you can't even appeal it?
Yeah, I suppose it does to a point, but that's like that for every level of football, isn't it? Right up to the, you look at the Premier League, VAR. If a player gets sent off for a second yellow, VAR can't get involved to change that. So it's like it all the way through the league. It's always been like that. So yeah, it is frustrating, but at our level of football, Dave, it doesn't matter. I don't think it will get changed anyway. Very rarely do you get a decision overturned at this level. So as much as it's frustrating, I don't think there'll be any need, or I don't think that the FA would change that rule.
I mean, the other thing for me, I suppose, which you've noticed a lot of difference, especially that game against St Neots at the weekend, and that was it me? Or done it may well have been from where I'm sitting, but when you turn around, it might have been even just been the weather. But when you turn around and see the stands packed again, did that sort of make you feel better about things? Well, that the fans are now starting to believe in what you're doing, believing in what the club's doing, and slowly but surely sort of filtering back into the club. It must be a massive boost to both of you guys to see them, almost like your 12th man being back there behind the back of the goal and supporting the team as well as they do.
Yeah, I think with that, if you just think about Danny Danny called me up, and the intention was to come in as Danny's assistant. Part of that reason was to get a nucleus again of what we had and what I was there then the year after, and bringing some of them players back, getting fans back on side. And I always say when we do these, Dave, that they're needed. Like even when we travelled to Ware on the Tuesday, and we won 2-1. I mean, we had the petrol problem and stuff going on. People getting there, they still turn up. It makes a difference. And I think that reflects on what we're doing on the pitch. I think they only come back if one, results are going well, and two, we're playing in a way that's enjoyable and we want to win every game. And I think that's been a big part of the transition. It took a little bit, but now they're coming back. They always appreciate the players, understand that them being there helps, and I think that you see the gratitude they show towards them, and it can only benefit us. I think because when we're rolling and we're playing well, and we build on this as the season goes on, hopefully we keep performing and keep them performances up, and they keep coming back. There's only one way potentially could go, the way we want it to go, in the right direction. And we're grateful every time they turn up, because I think it just benefits us, and it's great to see it. I love it.
Dan?
Yeah, I don't disagree with what you said. I think as well, if you look, you look over the past 18 months to 2 years, all the turmoil that's gone on with COVID, etc. There not being much football, and then obviously the football that was there wasn't going the way that everyone wanted it to go. So the fact that we've been able to come back, we've been able to put the side together we have, which shows the intent from the football club as a whole of what it wants to try and achieve, and the fact that we've started well, I think that's obviously a massive help. But there seems to be, or seems to feel like there's the buzz around the place that was there, however many years ago it was now, and it's been quite refreshing. If I'm being honest, Dave, I've had a few conversations with different supporters which I maybe wouldn't have done or never had in the past, which has been nice as well. And I think everyone's pulling in the same direction. Everyone knows what we want to achieve, and we've both said it on numerous occasions on how important that the supporters are for us. And I think they realise that now. And as Darren said, you only have to look at the Ware game, petrol going on, and I think everyone felt like we'd been for a swim that night with the amount of rain. But they kept singing. They didn't move behind the goal. You didn't see them hiding under a stand or anything. They was there, and that's what we want to do. We want to make. We want to win. We want to get promoted, and we want to do it for obviously ourselves, the club, and obviously for the supporters. So as long as we can all stick together, we've started well. Will there be bumps in the road? Yeah, of course there will. Every season has bumps in the road. But what's going to be important is that we stick together as a football club, and that's including the supporters, because that could be the difference between pushing on or not pushing on.
So, I mean, I know you guys must be in close contact with the governor as well. I mean, what's Tom's thoughts? He must be over the moon with his decision to bring you back in and all the rest of it. He must be, quite pleased with the way things are going at the minute.
He's never happy. No,
that makes two of them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Obviously, he's pleased with the way things have started. But he knows as well as we do. It's a long season ahead. There's still a long way to go. But I think what he's like I was just saying, just the feel about the place as well. Not just about winning games, just seeing people back in the stands and in the bars and things like that. It's just nice to be back to some sort of normality from the COVID perspective, but also from us as a football club being back and going in the right direction of where we want to be. So listen, Tom will always pick things out, but that's what keeps you on your toes. You need someone like that. You need a chairman like that. We'll praise you when you need to be praised, but it'll also pick you up on things when you need to be picked up on as well. Yeah.
Should I stop sending him the games then, so he can't pick them apart? But I mean, Phoenix at the weekend in the trophy. I mean, they haven't had a great start to the season, but knowing Phoenix like I do, and it's not going to be an easy game at the weekend.
No, I mean, I've not come up against Phoenix now for quite a few years. I think since the year we went up, I think back in 2016, I don't think I've come up against Phoenix. So it's so early on, Dave. Even though they've not had the best of starts, you can get a rough idea, but you don't know yet what teams are going to do and what they're not going to do. So you can disregard that. Plus, it's cup. It's a cup game. Anything happens in a cup game. So. We'll approach it in a way we approach every game, making sure that we're organised, we're set up, everyone knows what they're doing, and hopefully on the day we've performed to the levels that we know we're capable of performing at. Then we'll get the result, because we want to try and have a run in the trophy. Obviously, the FA Cup was very disappointing for everyone, so we want to try and make sure that we do everything we can to get a good run in this cup. Yeah.
So, I mean, for the fans, I suppose one question they'd want me to ask you would be: right, are we expecting any new sort of incomings of anybody in the near future, or are you happy with what you got? I mean, where does it stand at the moment?
No, quite possibly. We have put in a few 7-day approaches this week. Myself and Darren both, we're happy, but we need to strengthen in certain areas where we're a little bit light on the ground. So yeah, we've put in a few 7-day approaches. What will come in them 7-day approaches, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But there may be sort of come this time next week. There may be sort of 2 or 3 new signings. Yeah.
I mean, I saw the report online from Michael, your Harlow, and I mean, he made a comment on there. I mean, how concerned would you be? And I'm going to say with the goalkeeping situation at the moment, is that something that you might be looking at as well?
In what regards, though?
Well, I mean, the comments was about the amount of mistakes that was coming. I mean, is that a concern, or is that something that because he's a young goalkeeper, that's what's going to happen? I mean, is there something that you're looking at there?
No, not concerned. All goalkeepers make mistakes. Obviously, does he need to, limit their mistakes? Yes. But if you look at it, most of the mistakes that he's made this year began at the beginning of the season, when, for a young lad, probably still trying to impress, still trying to find his feet a little bit. But if you look at him for the previous, I don't know what it's been, 6 weeks, 2 months, he's not put a foot wrong. So no, I'm not worried about that. We have great confidence in him, and he's been. For me personally, I think he's done excellent so far.
So I mean, the season so far, though. Highlights for your season so far. I mean, we've gone in, 8, 9 games. I mean, Dal, what's your? Start with you. What's been your sort of highlight so far of the season?
The fact that I haven't had to hurt anyone in training has been good. I've enjoyed that. But the Ware game I enjoyed because of the way we dominated, and then to come back from 1-0 down, deservedly, I just thought that epitomised where we was at, the team together. I really, really enjoyed that game and how we played and how it ended. So yeah, and obviously I'm sure Danny would say his highlight is bringing me back. So, but I'll leave that to him to say. But yeah, I've enjoyed. No, Dave, I love it. I love it. I love being here. I love being part of the team. Training, the matches, the build up. I'm still learning in the role I'm in, and I just feel that I couldn't have. I'm so glad I'm listening to Danny's always advising me and telling me things I need to do better at, and there's loads still, but it's just being part of this team. I love Harlow and I love playing there and just coming back. I just love the feel of where we're at, and that's got to continue. And I won't stop. I won't diet that down. And my enthusiasm and stuff for the lads and advice and everything part of it is just brilliant to be part of. I'm enjoying. I'm loving it. Even with miserable Danny,
I mean, Dan, I think everybody would say, Dal, that everybody's absolutely over the moon at your back, and did you see your enthusiasm in on the touchline, and when we do these shows, it's been fantastic. So we are all over the moon at your back with Danny. But Danny, your highlight?
I think for me, it was probably Coney Heath away the second game. Because we'd come off the back of a few defeats, and we needed a reaction, the right reaction, and that was a big test. For me, it was a big test for us as a group of people of how we was going to react, and we reacted perfectly. And I think after that game, I knew that we had the right people, the right players, not in regards to their ability, but the right types. And that's massively important in football. You want to judge a player on their ability, of course you do, but you've got to have the right types of people. And that sort of proved for me that day, yeah, we've got the right types here, and we can take this group of players where we want to take them, and that's also important. Going back to what you just said, what we were just talking about. A few 7-day approaches have gone in. all good players within their own rights, but until we sort of have a conversation with them and you can get a feel for exactly whether they're going to be for us or not. So not in regards to their ability, but they've got to be the right type of person for the group that we've got, because the last thing you want to do is disrupt what we've put together so far. So yeah, players got to be, got to have the ability, but they've also got to be the right type of person for us. And I think that's a big thing of what we've got in the group at the moment, is they're all the right types of people.
I think for me, the highlight for the season for myself was just the camaraderie between the players, yourselves, the fans, coming from where it was the season before and the season before that. I never thought I'd see the camaraderie come back ever again. It was just negative all the time. And the camaraderie at the moment has just been fantastic. I think it's just, you guys have built that on the pitch, and you can slowly see, I think it's the old saying, and you build it and they will come, and they're already starting to come back, and they're just that camaraderie and everything just positive. Literally everything you speak to anybody, it's just constant positivity all the time, and there's no negative vibes anywhere. So for me, that's probably my highlight of the season, to see that the sort of the Harlow spirit back in the club again.
Yeah, I think as well, Dave, that comes with results. When you're winning, it's great. But I also think, going back to what I said earlier, the club is shown. As in, Tom putting, giving us the finance to be able to put together the side that we've been able to put together. It shows an intent. And I said over the previous 18 months, 2 years, you had the COVID situation, and back then, obviously, the club was in the position that it was in, and it could do what it could do. But he's shown an intent in what he wants to do with the football club, and myself and Darren and the rest of the staff and the players have shown our intent of what we want to try and achieve, and obviously that will lift everyone. But I think, as you said, the supporters seem to be back together again as a whole, as a group, and that's fantastic to see that more than anything else for me.
So, I mean, as a team, then, I mean, where are we expecting? What's the aim for the rest of the season? Are you looking at playoffs? Or are you looking for automatic? I mean, what is it you're actually the plan? I know the old average used to be 2 points a game, but I mean, is that still the same thing, or have you got a place in your minds where you'd like to see the club finish at the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have a goal in your mind. We're on track for that goal at this moment in time, but once you get to Christmas and you get the Christmas games out of the way, then you'll get a more realistic idea of where you can and you can't be. But same as always, we want to finish as high as we can possibly finish. We want to get promoted. If we can do that automatically, then that's what we'll do. If not, then we'll do it through the playoffs. Obviously, making sure that we get in the playoffs as a minimum, obviously. But yeah, we want to finish as high as we can. If we can, I don't know off the top of my head the last time that the club actually won a league. So it'll be great. It'll be great to be able to do that for the club and for the supporters this year. Yeah.
So?
The boss has spoke. There you go. But that's the aim. That's the aim. I didn't come back. Danny outlined it from the start. What we wanted to do. Let's go up. And that ambition is what is rubbing off on myself, and hopefully the lads and everyone. And moving forward, that's where we want to be. Starting from the top and filtering down to chairman, to manager, to me, to the players, to the fans, everyone. That's where we've got our aim. And it won't be through thought of not giving 100% and every week having a proper go. So yeah.
Well, listen, guys, I really appreciate you joining me today. I really do, and it's been a pleasure to have Danny with us as well. So thanks, Danny, for giving up your important time with your family and the rest of it. And same with you, Darren. I really appreciate it, and wish you guys all the very best at the weekend against Phoenix and a clinical against Ware on Tuesday night.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Dave.